What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So many of you already see the image on the screen, and it's pretty much a delay note from Firaxis, the company that's been working on Marvel Midnight Suns. Now, if you look very closely at this delay message, there are very valid reasons as to why this game is getting a delay at this moment in time. Now, most of you have been on this channel, you've been watching these videos, and by now you already understand a lot of the technical challenges that I've pointed out that has pretty much held back game development, especially in this date and time. You see, the new consoles have been very friendly, in my opinion, to developers. It seems like the evidence is there that these new consoles, the PS5 and the Series consoles, are capable of doing some really magnificent things that the former consoles couldn't do. I mean, that's quite obvious. But in development world, I think this has been challenging overall, and we've seen a lot of video games either back away from those consoles or at least have to maybe scale their game in a way that he may not necessarily be too glittery, in a sense looking great, just to be able to compensate these consoles, or at least design the game in a way where the consoles PS4 and Xbox One can actually play them. But I'll go ahead and we'll read this delay announcement in its entirety so that we know exactly the reasons why. So the Midnight Suns team pretty much says, we have an important update to share regarding our launch date for Marvel's Midnight Suns. After discussion with the team, we've made a decision to move back the launch timing of Marvel's Midnight Suns to ensure we are delivering the best possible experience for our fans. Now, here's the crazy part. We will launch later this fiscal year on Windows PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5, with the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch versions following at a later date. We know fans are looking forward to playing Marvel's Midnight Suns, and we'll use this extra time to make sure we're delivering the best possible experience for everyone. Marvel's Midnight Suns is easily the best game we've ever made, and we're incredibly appreciative of all the support players have shared with us throughout the years. Thank you from the Marvel's Midnight Suns team. So this is a big deal, and shout out to Suspicious Tension, who is pretty much someone that I actually follow for giving me the updates and the news in gaming. But to me, I look at this and I'm looking at the technical side. There is nothing else that this announcement is telling me other than these devs are trying their best to still leverage the already, huge plethora of games that are available and consoles that are available, which is pretty much the Xbox and the PlayStation 4. They have a lot of units of those out there in different homes in the hands of different gamers. But when you're making your video game and you want it to be ambitious, you want it to meet the standards of today's modern day and age, you're going to have a very, very huge challenge to do so, because these new consoles, they just run. They are like mini PCs that are just sitting in a console box. That's pretty much it. Now, it's not necessarily the fact that they are as powerful as PCs. They are. I mean, in some cases, if your PC is in a certain range, but for the most part, PCs have kind of come to a position where they can streamline the development of a PC game. They can also publish their minimum requirements. So a game will tell you if your PC can or cannot play it at this point. But one thing about the consoles that I've heard in the past is video game development companies cannot necessarily disparage or talk in a way about a console that doesn't make the console look good. It's kind of against their agreement with Sony and Microsoft. So they're not allowed to say this in this public context. But the truth is, those consoles seem to be the consoles that cannot deliver the best experience, looking at this particular announcement. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're in a really interesting position right now with this game development thing. Now, don't get me wrong. This does not mean that games like God of War are not going to run on the PS4. No, Sony and their studios are very good at optimizing their games to run on that console. So I don't think we're going to see this effect on some of the other titles that are going to be coming out that are PlayStation exclusives. I don't even think we're going to see this effect for many other games that are out there, because the technical challenges and the design philosophy that this team must have used was probably not something that these consoles, I should put it that way, can carry. You know what another crazy fact is? For those of you who've been watching this channel and talking about Gotham Knights, and one of the crazy things that I actually mentioned for the longest time was how Unreal Engine is quite challenging to run really important aspects of games on the old consoles. And this is Unreal Engine 4, by the way, not necessarily Unreal Engine 3, which ran Arkham Knight and the Arkham games so beautifully, and a host of other games. And guess what engine is being used to develop Marvel's Midnight Suns? You got it. I just Googled it and got to see that Marvel Midnight Suns is using the Unreal Engine. Now, my guess is it's probably using Unreal Engine 4. Unreal Engine 4 has been out for such a long time that it will probably be the main engine that they're using for this game. Now, they could be using Unreal Engine 3, but I don't think that that's likely. I'm looking very carefully here on the page here, but it doesn't seem to me that Unreal Engine 3 is the engine being used in development. They just wrote Unreal Engine, and my biggest guess is Unreal Engine 4. And even still, Unreal Engine has its challenges as well, which has been quite the evidence in terms of how different games have been delayed and how different games are seeming to pretty much take an L in this time and day. But I hope you guys understand this stuff. We'll talk very soon in another video. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.